I begged him to come home that night. He was drunk, slurring every word, and I knew what that meant. But I didn't stop. I cried, pleaded, until he got on his Harley and crashed. Everyone says it wasn't my fault, but deep down, I know it was. If you've ever carried guilt so heavy that it reshaped who you are, if you've ever wished for one moment back, just one, then this story is for you. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get into it. I was 11 years old. 11 and already old enough to understand that life didn't play fair. My mom and dad had split up just a couple years before. It wasn't a clean breakup. It was messy, painful. Mom, she hurt me. Not just emotionally, not in a we argued kind of way. She hurt me. So when the divorce happened, I stayed with my dad. He was the safer option. He was supposed to be. My dad was a truck driver, gone for long stretches, sometimes a week or more at a time. But when he came home, God, it was the best part of my world. He was loud, funny, full of life. He'd pull into the driveway on his Harley, blast through the door with takeout nachos, and toss his bag on the couch like it owed him money. And even though he was exhausted from the road, he always made time for me. We'd throw on some old episodes of Green Arrow, curl up on the couch, and just be. Those were our moments. My entire little world compressed into a few hours of warmth, laughter, and salty cheese-covered chips. That night was supposed to be one of those nights. He got home late, which usually meant a movie, snacks, and me pretending to fall asleep while he let me stay up. But that night was different. He walked in grinning, tossed his keys in the dish by the door, and ruffled my hair. And then his phone buzzed. A party. Some old friends nearby. He looked at me, hesitant. It was way past my bedtime. But I saw that look in his eyes, that little spark. Like he wanted to feel human again, not just a dad or a trucker. I remember saying, "Don't go." And I meant it. Not in a tantrum way, but in a soft, almost pleading voice. He looked bummed, really bummed, like he was torn between two worlds. So I gave him permission. I told him it was okay, that I'd be fine. And he lit up like a kid getting permission to go outside and play. He leaned down, kissed my forehead, and said, "I'll be back soon, kiddo. Love you." And then he left. Helmet on, Harley roaring down the street. A few hours passed, and something in me shifted. I don't know if it was fear or just that deep gut-level instinct that something was wrong. I called him. He answered on the third ring, slurring, laughing, drunk out of his mind. I knew it instantly. Even at 11, I knew. The way he dragged out his words. The way he forgot what he was saying mid-sentence. I begged him to come home. Not because I missed him. Because I was scared. I knew what it meant for someone to drive drunk. They taught us that stuff in school. I watched the PSA videos. I understood, but I kept begging anyway. "Please come home, Dad. Please just get here." He said no at first. Said he was too drunk. Said he'd sleep it off. But I didn't stop. I pushed. I used every bit of spoiled, stubborn child in me. I cried. I guilt him because I always got what I wanted. And eventually he said, all right, I'm coming." Those were the last words I ever heard from my father. They found him just a few blocks from the party. His Harley had skidded off a curve. He wasn't wearing his helmet properly. The impact twisted his brainstem. The police resuscitated him on the scene, but he never really came back. I remember walking into the hospital room. Machines beeping, wires everywhere. His chest rising and falling. Barely, and then it stopped. I screamed. I screamed so loud the nurses had to pull me out. But nothing could drown out the silence that came next. Nothing. Everyone told me it wasn't my fault. I was just a kid. I didn't make him get on the bike. He was the adult. But I knew the truth. He wouldn't have gotten on that bike if I hadn't begged, if I hadn't insisted, if I had just let him sleep it off. I killed my dad. Maybe not with a weapon. Maybe not with my own hands. But with my words. My guilt. My need to have him back. Even if it killed him. And it did. I've lived with this for years. I'm not that 11-year-old kid anymore. But some nights, I swear I still hear the Harley pulling into the driveway. Like some part of me refuses to let go, still hoping for nachos and Green Arrow. I smile in public, hold down a job, maintain friendships. But inside, I'm stuck in that night. That call, that choice. The guilt eats at me like acid. Sometimes it's a slow burn. Other times, it feels like I'm being consumed whole. There are nights I can't sleep. Nights I imagine what he would have said if he knew what would happen. Nights I whisper, "I'm sorry," into the darkness, hoping somehow he can hear it. People say I should forgive myself, that it wasn't my fault, that I was just a child. But guilt doesn't care about logic, and neither does grief. All I know is I miss him, and I'll carry this until the day I die. If you ever carried something heavy that no one else could see, if your past still whispers to you when everything else is quiet, then I'm with you. Leave a comment. Let it out. This is a space where we can talk about it. And if you felt this story in your chest, like, subscribe, and come back for more true, raw confessions. Because sometimes just saying it out loud is the first step toward healing.